Ryan Taylor. I'm with the HFL. I'm the commissioner. I run the Aces organization out of Kansas City. I'm the 18U coach. Introduced to the softball through a couple dads. Got involved with them and really enjoyed the game, and it just kind of grew on me, and then started giving some hitting lessons, and didn't ever think that I wanted to be involved with girls athletics because it's something outside of what I was comfortable with. And then you start coaching and just the speed of the game, and then also working with the athletes is such a pleasure. I think that's what pulls us all in, is the female athlete is so rewarding to coach and have the experience to be on the field with. Yeah, so much like, right, when you're coming up in wrestling, it's kind of, you've got your high school sports just like they do in softball, and then your summer is really where the athletes start to focus on getting better, their off season, just like a softball player would be in the winter. You know, that's kind of what you're training for as far as Fargo and different things like that. So, you know, you may be a multi-sport athlete, but it's very consumed by your focused sport, and that's what it was for us, and kind of coming up through it and spending all the hours, you know, giving up time just like they were, giving up friends, weekend things, hunting trips, all those different things that your friends were doing, sacrificing for your sport for that end goal of getting the opportunity to play at the next level. And then when it finally happens, you know, it's so rewarding. And so, you know, I think for me, one of the biggest things is just being able to give back that experience. You know, college athletics absolutely changed my life, and sports changed my life as far as how it shaped me. And I had very supportive parents that were willing to sacrifice and give me opportunities. And, you know, I'm in a position now where I feel like I can give a portion back to our athletes in our area. And that's such a huge passion for what I have. And I think a lot of where the HFL is obviously I've got a priority in the Aces, but helping our sport grow within our region is a huge passion to me. And I get a lot of calls from coaches asking, hey, what are you guys doing? Where should we play? What are different things? And I want to be an ear to where I can help with people. And that's what's been so neat about the league system, is to give an even playing field and give people opportunities. Yeah, sure. So even you know, before March, you know, talking about the pro league and the passion behind that, and kind of pulling that together, you know, started some of those conversations. And then here all of a sudden March hits, and it's like, well, what are we going to do? Our part of the country, you know, had the ability to play, right? Had the ability to play, and it's, you know, how are we going to give our athletes the opportunity to play, and really self-preservation? You know, what are we going to do? And Scott kind of talked to me about what they were doing with the league, and Brian Madden and Greg, we kind of were all in on some of those conversations, and they're like, well, you guys start a league, you know, what can you do to do it? And as we started, we're like, well, you know, where can we get condensed within our area in the Midwest? Well, we start talking about that with our other travel ball friends, and they're like, well, we want to be a part of it. And we're like, guys in the mid-Atlantic that we trust a lot are saying, hey, how are we going to be a part of this? And we're like, well, you're in the mid-Atlantic. You do your thing, we'll help you get it started there. And that's where kind of some of those conversations started going, well, how about divisions? And that's really how we got together, was, okay, we can do this. We can keep it regionalized, and we can have separate divisions just like in the NCAA or whatever it may be, and then come together in one location. Yeah, I think the thing that you look about at the heart of America, you know, it's got a little bit of a geographical spread, but we're very, I guess you would say, individualized in a way, how we operate within our division. Each division kind of heads up their own events, where they're working with USA, USSSA, Triple Crown to focus on events in that area to help reduce travel costs for you know, those teams and families. If you look at teams in the Midwest and in the upper Northeast, we really take the brunt of the travel costs when it comes down to it. And we've got a lot of good softball in those areas, and trying to help the sport grow from the grassroots up in our areas, and promoting the regional model. Yeah, sure, we want that national piece. You know, the Aces want to go travel and play the teams from all across the country, but we don't have to do that every weekend, and we can be smart about how we use our development and combine all of our resources. Yeah, so I think that's a great question, because I was that team. You know, when I first started out, it was calling tournament directors, begging for a way to get on a field and saying, how can I get on a field? My kids can play, having college coaches call for me. Anything that I could do to find an edge to get on and then just start earning my way. I was you know, and I feel like I wish that I would have had this opportunity, because you're going to have the opportunity to step on the field with a Texas Glory or a Bombers or an Iowa Premier or Aces team or Oklahoma Athletics, whoever it may be. You're going to be in the same tournaments. You're going to match up against those teams, and if you start preparing and winning and taking advantage of those opportunities, your girls are going to get noticed. And I think that's one of the most important pieces to this stats thing is, if there's a girl in Western Kansas that's hitting 550 and she's playing all these teams, all those coaches are going to say, who is this kid? It doesn't matter who she plays for. That's a kid that we need to follow. And that helps your organization, which, man, that fires me up, because I truly feel that everybody should have a chance, and resources are different and access is different for everybody. And this just opens the door for that. Just the care for the sport and the athlete. I think that's the biggest piece. I think all of us are going to have disagreements in how we do things, right? And that's fine, and there's always a competitive nature, but I think the true willingness for people to put some things to the side and just say, hey, what is better for the sport? What is better for our athletes, especially in the Midwest? Just us playing each other and developing our kids and creating a competitive environment at home that can prepare us and sharpen us as we start to travel out has been the enjoyable thing for me, is just everybody wanting to come together and grow. I think when I look at the leagues, I look at it, we're together, but we're very independent, right? We operate, we are very focused on our areas and helping develop our areas and making the game better. But we understand that there's got to be a body or something that pulls us all together in the same direction, because it's very easily, in the day-to-day, I'm concerned about the HFL. I'm not concerned about the TFL. It's not that I don't want them to be successful. It's just you're trying to help your region. And the great thing about the Alliance is it pulls us all together and it keeps one vision. All of us focused on one vision of truly growing the sport and using all of our resources to come together and offer the opportunity and really just an accountability piece. Yeah, so that it really excites me. I have to tone it back, some excitement for that, but I think the league model is a way that we can start to create pro teams within those leagues that go out and play. I think just when you start looking at resources, a portion of our entry fees, or our registration is going to the national team, which we have a huge passion for. And as this continues to grow, that should happen. A portion of what we're doing should give back to our sport at a higher level. And I just think you think about the national team and the pro team and how those can all come together. There's a lot of synergy in that. Yeah, absolutely. I think one thing you say there is structure. I think sometimes we're hurting cats when it comes to softball and development and just providing resources to our coaches. I know we talk about it all the time, the soccer model. They do a phenomenal job as far as, when people are wanting to coach in soccer, it's hard to continue to advance, and I think in our sport you get a lot of people that get involved that care but don't have the resources. And so providing some of the resources of people that have been in the game for 30 or 40 years that want to give back, hey, what's worked for you? Where did you fail? Even guys like me, it's like, hey, where am I from where I started and where am I at now? I think just that resource and structure of pulling it all together, because the resources are there. We have the resources. We just don't do a very good job of putting it all down and bringing it together and starting to provide that to coaches and say, hey, here's really a model. If you're wanting to start, this is where you need to start and how you kind of evolve as you move through the pieces. One, I think the big thing is play regionally. At 10s and 12s, you've got an opportunity to play really good teams in your region, and this helps you be competitive. You know what you need to do at that age? Learn to win. Learn to win and compete your tails off. And this is so fun when you start thinking about tracking every game, right? It's not a friendly. There's measurables behind it, and then access. Like, you're going to have access to these 18 and under coaches. I would challenge those 10U and 12U players and coaches to reach out to people in your league that have had success, because that's what they're here for, and use that avenue. Competitive. I think that's one of the biggest things. I think all of us can agree the game has gotten better. It's way better than it was 10 or 15 years ago, but it's very much a showcase model, and we've maybe lost some of that importance of every time you step on the field, it means something. It really does. And you get athletes that it doesn't matter, right? When they step in between that chalk, it's like it pounds right here. But I think it's very easy for athletes in a showcase model, hey, we're just showing up to play a game. This league atmosphere of everything's competitive, and when you step out, you're playing for something, it's huge. We all do something because we're passionate about it, and pulling that competitive nature together is so key.